So, good day everyone. I'm Elijah Pimatuna from Grade 11 Resilience, and I'm here to present my fake news individual PIT. So, moving for the outline of this presentation, it's going to be, of course, the objectives, the different types of fake news, the now disinformation, the example, misinformation, and lastly, malinformation. Now, for the objectives of this presentation, it's going to be identifying the three types of fake news, um, differentiating the disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation, giving real examples and explaining them, and lastly, using real information and sources to fact check these fake news. So, these are the different types of fake news. Firstly is disinformation, which is the creation and spreading of false and misleading information for the purpose of deceiving, manipulating, or possibly harming a certain individual or organization. Next is misinformation, which is the false or like misleading information that is either shared or spread without the intention of harm. And lastly is malinformation, which is the spreading of real and true information with the intent or purpose of harming the reputation of a certain individual or organization. Now, moving on. So here is my disinformation example. As you can see here from the Reuters website, um, during the 2025 German elections, there were Russian-linked websites meant to dupe or what do you call this? Change the election outcomes. Now, these sites um, have been found, or there have been almost um, almost or approximately 100 websites found that are related to each other, related to the Russians, and related to um, a person called John Dogan. Here's, here's another piece of information. Now, these, no, on Jan, Jan I'm sorry, uh, January of 20, January 23 of 2025, they found these sites with Russian link sites that were spreading the false stories or false informations to change or sway in possibly what do you call this? Uh, yeah, change the outcome of the election that was due in February. Now, these websites were described or known as Dogan's network since these sites were all connected to this John Dogan. Now, in the next slide, we have here more information. Now, as I said before, there were around 100 fake websites meant to change the outcome of this German election. Now, as I said before, these sites were meant to discredit the German politicians to change the outcome for who knows what reason. Now, here is a picture of John Dogan. Now, he was a former American police officer who is now being held, or what do you call this? Held in Russia because he was now in alleged Russian intelligence and propagandist as shown in this photo. Now, as I said before, I, me personally, could not personally find the information as to why they would they would try at least to change the outcome of these elections. Whatever their reason may be, it probably is not good. Now, disinformation. Okay, so moving on, we have misinformation, which is the spreading of false information without the intent of harm, contrary to the disinformation, which has the intent. Misinformation doesn't have the intent to harm. Now, in this example here, we have Ana May Lamentillo, who is a columnist for the Manila Bulletin account, where in 2022, Manila Bulletin posted her column that um, President Bongbong Marcos, who was a congressman of that time, authored the RA 9522, which was debunked and talked about by Dr. J. Batumbakal, stating that he would he was there and would have noticed if Duterte was actually the one who authored this law. Yeah. More information on this side. Here is the original post that I found on a credible website. Now, here it shows that talks about BBM and eventually that he authored this law, which we already know is false, whether that be a mistake or just a what do you call this grammatical error or the wrong wording. Now, more information on the next slide. Okay, so the President Bongbong Marcos is who was a congressman at the time, as I said before, did not author this law. It was actually the Cebu Republic Antonio Cuenco who authored this law and filed the House bill so that it could be approved, which it was later approved on March 10, 2009. Yeah, March 10th here. Now, as I said before, can I move? How do I? Sorry. Um, as shown in the other slide, her column said authored by Congressman Bongbong Marcos at that time. But this was not true. So I know, and it was also debunked. So this was then later changed or replaced to being a part of. So it now would say Bongbong Marcos was part. Can't move the camera. Sorry. So it says here, as legislate. It now says, or as shown here, as I'm, I'm sorry. As legislator, one of the most important pieces of I can't see How do I move the camera? I'm sorry for that. I had a technical issue. Well, it now states that, continuing, Bongbong Marcos was just now a part of the Philippine Equivalent Baseline Law 9522, where this law is what constitutes the Philippine Territorial Sea. Okay. So next, now, um, what do you call this? This is why we should be careful of what we post, or yeah, what we post or what we spread, since we won't always know if it's fake. So this is why we have no, not we have, we are going to, or we will have to, what do you call this, fact check information that we are about to post or we are posting, so that we can avoid misleading the public or your audience of misleading from real information. And also to avoid the, even if it's, what do you call this, no intent of harm, since it was just a mistake, it could still, as I said before, mislead the public, and this could potentially induce harm or changes in the reputation in this person's reputation or their image, since of the since because of the wrong information, it would most likely or would definitely change, since we won't really know how people react to information or how they suspect this person because of what you posted. Now, moving on to malinformation. Now, malinformation is the spreading of true information for the purpose of harming an individual or an or organization's reputation. Okay. So, as you can see here by the post of Unite Pinas, it says that, or at least Malagarzon said that, sinasaktan ang anak ko ng mga sundalong humuli sa kanya. Context here is that, according to the post by Unite Pinas, and also a similar post of the same nature by Bato Solid supporters, where it states that, Myla Garzon's daughter, Charlize Garzon, was arrested by the 68th Infantry Battalion during their operation on Minduro, where they, what do you call it, um, battled or were attacked, possibly attacked by the NPA fighters. Now, you might be asking, why was Charlize Garzon arrested in the first place? Now, this will be explained in the next slide here. Okay, so actually, Charlize Garzon was uh, later identified to be a legit NPA fighter during their operation, which is why she was captured or arrested in the first place. Now, this um, piece of information was, of course, missing from those two posts. Now, this is the manipulation information, since it was missing, or not manipulation. Yeah, manipulation, since they intentionally what do you call this, left out information. No, this act can obviously change the context of the, what do you call this, the information posted. Now, although although the post is meant to, no, it's not meant to. It's directed by, what's his name, man? Kyla, um, Myla Garzon, Myla Garzon, directed to the military. Now, posts like these, malinformation, as I said before, as I explained before, is meant to induce or sway opinions about this person organization's reputation. Now, there are many posts like this online. You may have found them scrolling through your apps like Facebook, Instagram, and others. But um, when finding posts like this, before believing them, you should gain knowledge of the entire context, which, as seen here, is, as in my example here, the information was basically cut. It's not complete. So that's why what do you call this? The outcome might change or might not be as, what do you call this, similar to if the information was complete. This is why we should, in general, be able to fact check information, use reverse image search to know where these images used in these websites or these posts are from, so that we are not, what do you call this, misled or manipulated to believe the false information, or possibly the manipulated information, so that the person or organization in question isn't, what do you call this, harmed or what do you call what was harmed or publicly shamed. For these reasons, um, all of us, not just students, but teachers, parents, people in general, that have access to their devices such as phones, laptops, computers, uh, yeah, should, as I said before, should be able to fact check information, so that nothing or no piece of wrong information can, what do you call this, manipulate them. Now, moving on. Okay, so that would be all from me and for my presentation. I thank you all for listening. So until next time, goodbye.